Scaling your law firm doesn't have to be difficult. It's all about mastering a few key strategies, systems, and mindsets. Welcome to the Scalable Law Podcast, where we talk about how you can increase profit in your pocket and time in your calendar. My name is Carolee Fontanelli, and I have successfully scaled my firm so that it doesn't solely rely on me. Now I love teaching other law firm owners how to do the same. Let's transform your business starting now. Welcome to another episode of the Scalable Law Podcast. I am your host, Carolee Fontanelli, and I'm so glad that you are here with me today. It is getting closer week by week to LawBizCon, which I'm so excited about. We have got the most incredible speaker lineup. Oh my goodness, if you want to grow your law firm and scale it, there is honestly no better place for you to be. I was talking to my auntie last night, and she was in business for years, not in law firms, but in a different business. And she said she used to go to conferences to really get that like spark happening for the year, to really pique her and get her going so that she came back and had another amazing year. And that is exactly what I'm trying to achieve with LawBizCon. It is going to be amazing. If you want to walk away pumped up and excited for your law firm, other than of course tuning into the podcast, then LawBizCon is definitely for you. So head on over to lawbizcon.com.au. That's where you can find tickets. And I will be super excited to meet you. If you see me at the conference, which of course you will, come and say hello and tell me that you tune into the podcast. That would be so awesome to say hi and to meet you. So today I have got a really great podcast lined up for you. Very recently, there was a report done by Macquarie Bank. The report is called Law 2024, The Future of Legal Businesses. So I have had a really good look at the report, and I thought that I would let you guys know what it contains and what the experts at Macquarie Business Banking are saying about the future of being in the legal business. It's super interesting. They're really exploring significant trends that are impacting Australian law firms, particularly due to rapid technology adoption and evolving business models since COVID, or early 2020, as they put it. I don't know if you guys can hear this. I definitely need a podcast booth. Sorry to interrupt the programming. I have a parrot and I can hear her in the background. You can probably hear her tweeting on this podcast. But anyway, don't let that distract you, Carolee. Let's just get back into it. So the report explores the trends and what is exactly happening in the future of law. So the key findings really indicate that the legal industry is facing increased competition from digital newcomers. So if you are a digital newcomer, that is awesome, and also alternative service providers. So if you're either of those, that's great. But if you're not, are we going to be left behind? And how is the new way of doing law really reshaping client expectations and the value of delivery in legal services? And this is really what the report is focusing on. So what they're saying is that law firms are now focusing more on specialization in practice areas while outsourcing. Technological innovation that balances speed, quality, cost, and offering more value to clients. Client relationships with more of a client-centric approach, moving away from the traditional billable hour to fixed or value-based pricing. And also talent management by creating inclusive and flexible career paths to accommodate the multi-generational workforce that we have right in front of us. So I would love to go back into those and give you a little bit of commentary about what I think about each of those. The report really emphasizes the necessity for law firms to adapt by embracing innovative technologies, refining client interaction strategies, and prioritizing internal culture for attracting and retaining talent. I 100% agree with that. We all need to be doing that. Additionally, data analytics and streamlining your business processes are highlighted as essential tools for law firms aiming to remain competitive in the rapidly changing market. So I'd love to talk to you guys or talk about these things. So when it comes to the first one, which is specializing in practice areas, I 100% agree that specializing in practice areas is super, super important, especially when we are small law firms. Now, there are around 16,000 law firms just in Australia. I know that I've got listeners from all over the world, but about 80% of those are actually small or solo practitioners, and which means that if you're listening, you're probably one of those, right? As am I with my law firm. Now, what I see when I'm talking with law firm owners is that, and I'm not just speaking with law firm owners, but I'm also going through their figures and looking at their business model. And what I'm finding is that law firms that really hone in and niche in one particular area are having a lot higher success. They are really thriving as the go-to law firm or legal practice in their specialization. And they're really able to carve out that authority for themselves. So I think specialization in practice areas is really, really important. It definitely helps with your business growth. And I think that the Macquarie are spot on in recognizing that. So let's move on to technological innovation. So what they've said is technological innovation balances speed, quality, costs, and offering more value to clients. There's so much innovation right now, and it's so hard to keep up with. And also, as we're managing law firms, we're trying to obviously create as many efficiencies as we possibly can, while also maintaining low costs. And when we bring in new tech or we've got new tech stacks, there's always a period of time that takes away from the business, takes us away from the business, and there's also costs associated with that. So balancing that with the need to move forward and create those efficiencies, speed of producing, as well as the quality, while still offering value to clients. It's so important. And I definitely think as law firms, we really need to be looking into what technology we can be using more and more. Let's face it, law firm owners, wouldn't it be great if we could just have robots for everything and not have to worry about teams, because that's, the talent management piece, which we're going to get to soon. That's where it's the hardest part of running a law firm. So what can we do? And there's so much tech out there, but there's legal tech, yes, that's specifically designed for law firms. But there's also lots of other tech that we should be looking at that are for general uses that we can adopt in our law firms. So it's really a very interesting topic and interesting times. So stay tuned here on my website at LawBizCon, for all of those technological advancements so that you can stay on top of it. Next up, Macquarie is saying that client relationships with a more client-centric approach is happening right now in the legal industry, moving away from traditional billable hours to fixed or valued pricing. Now, this 100% works in some areas of law where you can really move away from the hourly rate and you can go to fixed or value pricing. In some areas of law, a hybrid works better than moving directly. And like, I know that when law firms do the transition, just from, speaking with many law firms, that it can be really hard to get that fixed or value pricing right for the law firm. Because the thing with this is it really does have to be a win-win situation. It has to be a win for the firm and a win for the clients. It can't just be a win for the clients, otherwise we're going to lose profitability. So making sure that it works in your practice area is so important. But again, if you go back up to one where we talked about specialization, if you are specializing, then fixed fee or value-based will definitely become simplified, but not for all practice areas. I honestly don't believe that, say for example, in litigation areas, family law or litigation, it can be really, really difficult to offer value or fixed pricing. It's not to say that it's impossible, because it's absolutely not impossible, but it is difficult. I have spoken to so many law firm owners in family law and in litigation, and it's definitely something worth looking at, but it's also something to look at and think, can I adopt it in my firm or not? Whereas there are other areas where you absolutely can and should be doing value pricing or fixed fee. So estate planning is the perfect example for this. All the estate planners that I work with are basically fixed or value pricing. Often they have their prices on their website, which I think is awesome for that transparency. And, that can really, really work. And there's many other areas that it can work as well, particularly in document-based style law practice areas. So it's definitely worth a look at. 100%, I agree with Macquarie. We should be looking more at a client-centric approach as much as we can, but moving away from traditional billable hours to fixed fee and value pricing might not work for every single law firm or every single practice area. And it does really have to be a win-win. It can't just be a win-lose. So that's what I'd love to say about that. Now, number 4, they talk about law firms focusing more now on talent management, getting my tongue twisted there, by creating inclusive and flexible career paths to accommodate a multi-generational workforce. This is 100% happening from what I am seeing out in the marketplace. But again, it's not working for everybody depending on different practice areas. I think that the multi-generational workforce today, they expect flexibility in their career paths. They expect to be able to sometimes work from home. And I mean, it's not, there is no right or wrong. It's whatever works for your law firm. I know of law firms who don't offer any flexibility in the workplace and, really do have the same sort of plan, I suppose, or approach that they had prior to 2020. And they still managed to retain really great talent. So again, it's really about what works for your firm, what works for your practice area as well, because I think different types of practitioners, family lawyers have different personality types from criminal lawyers, from personal injury lawyers, so et cetera, et cetera. So it really does just depend on what is best for your law firm. But there's definitely a shift that has remained where we are creating, flexibility and accommodating people in a way that we never did before. Is it good for business? I don't know. I think that sometimes, we might need to bring it back a little bit, and also making sure that you're checking data to see that, working from home or having remote work is actually working for you. Are people still keeping up with their KPIs? Some people will work better from home in that quieter environment. Other people may not. And again, it depends on the team members. It depends on the practice area. So I think, yes, law firms are focusing on that, but I do think that as law firm owners, we're all still trying to find our pathway as to how that's actually working for us. and still trying to navigate that. So yeah, that is all really, really interesting. Now, they also said additionally, data analytics and streamlined business processes are highlighted as essential tools for law firms aiming to remain competitive in this changing market. I 100% agree with this. Absolutely, we need to be digging into our data and our analytics a whole lot more as law firm owners. I speak about this quite regularly because it is one of my passions, and it's something that we do talk about a lot in Scalable Law. I talk to law firm owners every single week, and I'm so surprised and shocked at how little they know about their data. So, and there's a range of, say, 15 or 20 numbers that you 100% need to know about. I'm actually running a workshop on it at LawBizCon because it is so helpful to know that data, and it will 100% move your business to the next level if you implement a data analytics strategy into your law firm. The other thing that they've said is like streamlining your business processes. This is 100% required. We all need to streamline our business processes as much as possible if we want freedom as a law firm owner. There is absolutely no doubt in my mind that this is the one thing that really, really brings freedom to law firm owners, particularly those that have a team and they've started to leverage themselves. I spoke to a law firm owner today. There was 2 partners in the firm, and they're both working 70, 80 hours a week, plus they have a team. It's absolutely unnecessary to be doing this. If you have not streamlined your business, if you have not created a whole library of processes, that is something that you should definitely be booking a strategy call in with me for, because it will make all the difference to your flexibility and freedom and efficiencies, as well as profit, growth in your law practice. So I think that is so important. They definitely hit the nail on the head with their report. I definitely, as someone who's speaking to law firm owners every single week, have found it really interesting, and I found it to be really accurate as to what is actually going on in the marketplace right now for law firm owners. So that is the summary of Law 2024, the future of legal business. I hope that you really enjoyed that podcast. You can download the report on, just type in Law 2024, the future of legal business, Macquarie Bank report. Just Google that and you'll be able to find the report there. Have some good reading there for you. And I hope that you've enjoyed this podcast. I hope to see you at LawBizCon. It will be absolutely fabulous. It's only like 3 weeks away, so you better quickly book your ticket. Otherwise, I'll be tuning in with you in a week's time. Bye for now. Thank you for listening to the Scalable Law Podcast, brought to you by the Scalable Business Lounge. If you would love to know how you can get more clients without relying on referrals, head over to scalablelaw.com to watch my free masterclass. Until next time, you have got this.